I must tell you that today's program promises to be exciting, educative, and of course, entertaining. I've invited very, very distinguished personalities who are persons that have made their mark in their chosen fields of human endeavor. They will be dissecting the topic we have at hand today, which has to do with the economic downturn of Nigeria. Don't forget, just recently, as I speak, in some states, the nationwide End Bad Governance or End Hunger protest is on. In some states have been held. In Edo State, as at yesterday, the protesters have really shielded their sword. We hope that they are expecting the government to actually look into their grievances, look into their demand, and effect the needed changes. So what are the problems militating against the economy of Nigeria? We'll be dissecting that. Why are Nigerians aggrieved, especially the youths? This time around, the recent protest was not only about the youths, it was about citizens, about residents. And it was a very difficult situation for Nigerians. Those who didn't join the protest could not actually engage in any commercial activity or visit the market. Traders could not open their stores. But in some states, some eastern states, the protest did not hold. In some other states, the protest turned violent. Well, I have in the studio today, just joining us for the very first time, is Bishop Lucky Omona BSA. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. We also have with us a very seasoned analyst, Dr. Elvis Agbonaima. Nice to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me. Viewers, God bless you all.
Okay. So let's just start with this opening remarks where I want to highlight some of the factors militating, or if otherwise, put succinctly, bedeviling Nigeria, bedeviling the growth of Nigeria. Nigeria is regarded as the largest economy in Nigeria, but is that what we have? So, factors responsible for Nigeria's economic downturn. Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, is facing a number of economic challenges that threaten its growth, prospects, and stability. These include high inflation, foreign exchange rate volatility, low productivity, weak governance, and poor infrastructure. Rapid population growth without adequate data of birth and death, inefficient agricultural and industrial practices, like I said, poor governance, corruption, and disease. These are the factors responsible for Nigeria's economic downturn. And looking at these factors, the youths, the protesters could not help it because it is believed that Nigeria is Africa's largest economy. But the welfare of Nigerians has nosedived. The minimum wage of 70,000 naira cannot even afford a bag of rice, especially the imported rice. So many problems. So some call it hunger protests, some call it end bad governance. It was terrible. But our very first discussion now will be on what happened in some northern states, including Bauchi, Kano, Kaduna. It was terrible, where some Nigerians were actually waving the flag of Russia, a foreign country, in Nigeria's soil. And that has made the Nigerian government to be unsettled, to be restive, and the military has promised, Nigerian military has promised to deal with the situation. So we'll just start with that. I will start with Dr. Elvis Agbonaima. Now, looking at these factors, vis-a-vis the protest, but the protest took a different dimension. So we'll start from there. Why do you think some persons instigated children, the young ones, to be waving the flag of Russia, though Russia has denied any complicity or involvement in that protest?
First and foremost, viewers, thank you. for today.
Okay.
I want to say this. Our former president, who is late, once said that if a particular problem persists, and it persists, you should know that the government hand is not free. Now, the question you ask, it is very clear, and it is very clear to all of us that the protest, before the protest started, the federal government was giving almost a month notice. And instead of the federal government to begin to address issue raised by the young people, they were looking for how to shut them down. And now, it is clear to us before now that most of the times when protests begin to take place, some people, even in the government, some politicians will try to hijack it just to give the dog a bad name. What transpired, like for example, seeing some of the protesters holding another country a flag. I can also tell you that it is also possible that some people who do not want that protest to hold, if you watch the people that was holding that flag, many of them don't even know what they are doing. Enlightened person will not do that. Now, don't be surprised that it's the same persons who never wanted that protest to take place that did that just to destabilize the whole process. Because it is clear to us during the time of EndSARS protest, a lot of politicians, a lot of their dogs, their hooligans, were sent into the protest just to destabilize the whole process. You get it now? Now, maybe the government itself or the people in power or some politicians cannot say that they don't know what happened. I'm very sure. Most of the enlightened youth who came out to protest, they will not do that because they know the consequences of doing that.
It's a treasonable offense.
It's a treasonable offense, and at the same time, Nigeria is a sovereign nation.
Yeah.
You get it now? Now, when you started, instead of our President Bola Tinubu, to begin to address the issue, even the brokers he did, the issue was not even addressed. You get it now? Now, among what the people, the youth, the protesters came out to say, okay, let's end hunger, is an hunger protest.
Yes.
For example, sir, at about June last year, 2023, our inflation rate, even when we were complaining then of the federal, of the former administration,
yes,
at about June last year, I think the inflation rate was 22%. Now, at about June, this 2024, the inflation rate is 34.2%. You see? And that's why when the people say, oh, this government is doing well, we should be patient. And I ask question, is it that when all the people have now died? Because what I'm saying, if the whatsoever they are calling, that what they are trying to do, because this government, from what we are seeing, their policies is anti-people. How do I know? If your policies are not helping the people, has impoverished the people more and more. A lot of people now, a lot of Nigeria, they can't eat 1 square meal a day. We are not even thinking of 3 now. You used to say 3 square meal a day. Yeah. But as it is now, a lot of Nigerians can hardly eat 1 square meal a day. 1.
That's terrible. It's
very terrible. Nigerians are now more poorer. When I hear that Nigeria is a giant of Africa, not now. Because the people, if you go to the street with your camera, there is hunger everywhere. Now, if those who are working are crying, what about those who are not working? If those who their take home cannot take care of them, what about those who does not even have anywhere? You see, as we speak now, drugs, to buy drugs now.
That's medication, you mean?
Medication problem. Because now, even if you are sick now, to get medical attention because of the hike in price of drugs. There is, we are faced with a serious dilemma. Nigeria has now become so poorer. As we speak now, I will tell people, say, don't slap somebody because you might slap somebody who will just die. Because a lot of Nigerians are not healthy. The saving grace we have today is that Nigeria is a praying nation. That's not the truth. It's true. Because if you look at what is happening, hunger, serious hungers are. Go to the market. Just go and buy a fish. What you used to buy fish now is what you used to prepare pot of soup some time ago.
Just to buy just one fish.
One fish. What you used to buy fish now is what you use like, some time ago to prepare a pot of soup.
Which contains other condiments.
Are you getting me now? As we speak now,
Yes.
sir, Nigerians are not smiling. Listen, I become so ashamed. By the grace of God, in entertainment, I'm a leader there.
Yes.
I am everywhere by the grace of God. I'm the vice chairman of Adult of Nigeria, Joseph chapter. And by the grace of God, I've just been elected as the BPG, PFN, Bubaka 1.
Okay.
After being a leader in the church, I am with the people. I know what is happening.
Okay.
I am with my people. In my community, they know me, I know them. We are together. There is hunger in the land. All these stories they are coming to tell us, and it's so painful that these people will come on different national stations, and be telling us cook and book story. Imagine that you are telling me that I'm okay. I should be the one to speak for myself that I'm not okay. They are telling us that their policies are working. Sir, if by the help of God, by the grace of God, I'm not building house, my children shouldn't be hungry. My wife and my children, those around me, should be celebrating. That is progress. But today, they said their policy is good, is that, and their policies are impoverishing Nigerians more and more.
Okay.
We have never had it like this, sir. Are you getting me now? Now, all this one, they are trying to frustrate the protest and all that, trying to cause mayhem, trying to send their watchdog into the protest. Listen, let me say this, sir. If they don't put their house in order, if they don't address the issue, the next protest that will come, it will not be on us.
Thank you very much, Doctor. We'll come back to you. Bishop Lucky, you are also a leader of congregation.
Yes, sir.
And you are with the people as well. Now, we saw what happened. Do you think it was really necessary to protest? If necessary, what those people did holding the flag of Russia, what's your take on all of this?
Well, it's very important to protest when you have some bad leaders.
Okay.
You see, as I said before this program, as I said, this problem started long ago.
Yeah.
That our fathers were cajoled by the foreign people to operate some certain wrong way of doing things.
Okay.
And they abide with it. Now, Nigeria is we are a independent country.
Yeah.
We say we are in freedom. But the foreigners or the foreign country are slave mentally. We are a serious slave, mental slave. We are not free. Now they use what we have. They take it to themselves. They find and bring it back to us.
That's crude. Crude is taken out, refined and petrol back.
They will now buy in their own price, not our price. They fix price for us, not we fix price for ourselves. Now, until they bring us back to use our currency, Naira-based economy, we will never succeed. This man, President Tinubu, with due respect, no matter his agenda, his everything around him, he cannot fix what is destroyed overnight. The first thing he need to do is to bring us back to our Naira-based economy. No foreign economy. Not taking our crude oil to Germany, to London, to America. No, let me use our Naira economy. Number two, insecurity. Deal with people that are, all these people that are dealing with us, the herdsmen, the Boko Haram, these are people that enter our bush and drove away our farmers. Now, that's why things are expensive. In Nigeria, it's about 250 million people. If 50 million are doing farm, and 250 million are not farming, then the 250 million cannot take care of the 250 million. They have to deal with Our president had to select intellectual into his cabinet, not political party appointee. Now, when that is done, the hunger will be addressed, security will be addressed, corruption will be addressed. Let me start in the book of Genesis, Daniel chapter 6. The Bible says a man called Daniel was appointed as minister of finance in his days. It's not a Babylonian, it's an Israelite. But how would it take to make the economy work? He was appointed. And at the end of the day, he was able to make the economy work of that country. In Genesis chapter 40, a man called Joseph was appointed to run the economy of Egypt in those days. Now, what is happening to this country, this government? They are not bringing people that are professional. They are appointing their political party system. The day you won the election, you are no longer APC man. You are Nigeria man. You work for Nigeria, not for APC or PDP or any political party per se. If you are campaigning, you can campaign any platform. Then you became a public figure, that platform is dead. You bring our plan, we now give what we want. Sir, we want you to cut off corruption. How do you do that? Look at people that are professional, agriculture, who study agriculture, University of Benin, and appoint that gas, Minister of Agriculture. He know what to do to put that will get the fertilizer to do the farm. He know go job and all the rest community. Not a man that study law is an agriculture minister. He won't do anything. He going to quote law. It doesn't work like that. That ministry is fully for people that will go to bush. My father retired as a care officer at level 12. At those days, they go to bush, they share fertilizer here and there. But then the people that are there are not doing it because it's not their field. They don't know what to do. They are just there because one political party say, you work for me, you campaign for me, you run up and down, then you have to be there.
Terrible.
Until that area is addressed, whether we protest for here till 10 years, as far as these people are still in this office, we will still be like this. Even though we want to war, after the war, people are still in this office, we will still be like this. Then the issue of the flag of Russia,
yes,
those are people who are angry. People are angry. I'm a bishop, I have congregation more than 500. I have branches. I'm ambassador of peace, Niger Delta.
Okay.
Then under Idol Legacy.
Yes.
I know what I'm talking about. These people are many of different organizations.
Yes.
These people are angry. A hungry man is an angry man. Leaders have said, anointing without money is annoyance.
Okay.
Then these guys are people that are hungry.
But if they are hungry and angry, then they shouldn't do what's wrong.
Somebody just said, okay, since you are angry and you are hungry, this opportunity for me to operate on certain level of problem in the country, and he throw some little peanut to them. These guys just throw the flag. If you look at those guys just in the camera, they are not enlightened. They don't know what they are doing. They are timid people because people are using them. And what people are also using them, they are people who are part of this system who don't know what we to achieve our aim. As I was yesterday, I said, it is time for you to take over. Let our fathers retire. When you are above 80, sit at home. You are a grandfather. Let we lead the country because it's time for you to lead. And when you are leading us as 80, and now me above 40, when will I lead?
Bishop, that's great. You really made some very powerful points, just like Dr. Elvis also did. And I think the salient points there that I can highlight is that, one, those who were holding the flag of Russia, very many of those young persons were actually influenced by some highly placed persons. The government has assured that they will be arrested. The protests will be investigated. Those who were holding the flag of Russia, they've arrested some tailors who designed the flags. We also understand that they've also put some names on the watch list. Those who were responsible for that offense, because it's a treasonable felony. Well, we have a professor of law who will be joining us shortly, Professor Joe Bodion. Nice to have you with us today.
Yeah, good afternoon, and good afternoon, yes.
Now, we are talking about the downturn experience in the economy. But before we did that, we were able to give a background information that Nigeria is regarded as Africa's largest economy. But this country is faced with a number of economic challenges that threatens its growth and prospects and stability. These include our inflation. Inflationary trend in Nigeria, even economists will find it difficult to define, because you purchase an item today, you return to that same place few hours after, you may not get it that same price. That beats the definition of inflation. The kind of inflation we have is more than galloping inflation. Only those who are economists will understand what I'm talking about. Now, it is really disturbing. Foreign exchange rate volatility. Now, because imports is dependent on the use of foreign exchange. Now, the volatility makes the prices of such imports to be on the high side, and Nigerians are unable to purchase. Even building materials, some of the things they bring from abroad. And just like my guests have analyzed, you take crude oil out of Nigeria, you refine abroad, you now sell to Nigeria. That is putting pressure on foreign exchange.
Yeah.
So these are some of the problems that we highlighted. Okay. But Prof, is it right for Nigerians to have protested the way they did, especially in some northern states, Bauchi, Kanu, Kaduna, where they destroyed government facilities? Some were holding flag of Russia, which is treasonable felony. What's your take on all of this?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I'm sure our panelists have addressed that issue.
Yes.
Profusely, as it were. But just to add a bit of my own perspective, I can always say, the right to protest or the right to dissent, as it were, is, of course, it's a fundamental right, it's guaranteed. But there are also limits, as lawyers will tell you. There are limits to these rights, and so you should be careful how you exercise the rights, to threaten national security, public safety, and all that. So it's given, it's settled, no doubt about that. So the protesters or rioters, as it appears to be in those states you just referenced.
Yes, Kanu, Kaduna, Bauchi.
Obviously have gone off the line, as it were, because the protests, when you now commit criminal wrongs like arson, burning down of public properties, like government-funded properties, like the ICT, something that was burned.
In Kanu.
In Kanu, which they said was huge sums were expended, and it was meant for the youth, as it were, like a hub for youth to develop their skills. So again, you start asking yourself, it's like shooting your face or yourself. So the criminal elements that infiltrated the protests, one. Then the criminal element that also had a mindset, because the whole thing was organized by pseudo bodies, who could force persons you could identify, pin down. So there are two aspects of it. Infiltration, yes, no doubt, possibly from fourth column, as we call them. But there are those who from the onset had a mindset, actually. When you're planning, others are planning too now. And so if you had about 5 groups planning, assuming, supposedly, I'm sure out of those 5, maybe 1 or 2 had other issues, not protests. They had other plans, really, not protests. So that is why it looks very coordinated. Like those people were bringing flags to display and the rest. It's not something that was done spontaneously. That was planned, man. Part of the plan. Why are they doing placards? We are hungry, we are suffering. That is their message to government. Others were bringing flags and come and take over Nigeria, turn Nigeria to Niger and Chad, all those countries where, with the pillar of ECOWAS, all those countries have now been taken over by the Russian hegemony, there's passionist race. So because we have a close border tie with Niger and the rest, and because our brothers in the north, well, not verified, but there's something that happened. Some of them are not Nigerians, really. So you'll be sure that those persons who are waiting for are not even Nigerians. They are the Nigerians in Nigeria who occupy our space and who probably want to import their government in Niger to Nigeria. So otherwise, there's no relevance of Russian flag.
Okay, but in law,
demonstration,
it is said that ignorance,
of course, no excuse.
Is no excuse.
Yeah,
so do you think whether they are young persons or not, they'll be prosecuted because the government has already threatened? So we understand that arrests have been made.
Yeah, there are 2 aspects. The ignorance aspect is settled. The ignorance is no excuse, really, of course. But there are some crimes if the law says if you know, knowingly, let's say knowingly possessing marijuana, for example, you don't know it's marijuana, you cannot be held culpable if you don't know it's marijuana. If you think marijuana, if you heard it and you thought it was a ordinary cigarette or vegetable as
Yes.
it were. So that is a different thing altogether. But then the other aspect is that the issue of maturity, criminal responsibility. Those children, they're under 14 years. Some of them were under 14 years. So if they're under 14 years and they're not liable criminally, you can really put them in the regular court. So they have to go to juvenile courts where they'll be tried and then they'll be admonished and then they'll be given their own sentences as children. There's a way we punish children when they commit crime in Nigeria. That we have a juvenile court. There are sponsors that are adults and are above 18 years. Those of them who counsel them or procure, those who want to bring money to go and do flag. And the person who was sewing the tailor, as they said. And those ones are going to be held liable as adults now. This one will face the trial, which is life imprisonment.
Thank you very
The
much.
young ones may just be kept in a place.
Okay, Professor Job has just explained that we are commenting on the economic downturn in Nigeria, which triggered the recent nationwide End Bad Governance or End Hunger protests. It was a very disturbing scenario. We noticed that the roads were barricaded, especially in the states where the protests were held. In Rivers State, the protest has taken a very frightening dimension. We've seen youths attacking government infrastructure. We've seen them barricade roads. We've seen unruly behavior of protesters in Rivers State. And some persons attribute political intrigues to some of these acts. But on this program, before my guests will comment, I must commend the civil society in Edo State. I must commend the security agencies in Edo State, the police, the military. Kudos to you for all that you did. We noticed that security personnel were actually supervising protests in Edo State. And the governor of Edo State addressed protesters. We also say kudos to Governor Godwin Obaseki for doing that. No destruction in Edo State during the period of the nationwide protests. They registered their displeasure. Some of them were confined to a designated place. And even those who were in other areas, they never assaulted anybody. They never destroyed government infrastructure. I must commend them on this show. But my guest, Dr. Elvis Agbonaima, you actually noticed the protest. In Edo State, what informed that peaceful protest?
Number one, you know I'm not a politician.
Yes.
The reason why in Edo State the protest was very peaceful was leadership in the part of the governor of Edo State and the part of the civil society organization or their leaders. They were really very active. And the role the governor played. And number one, let me give this point. The governor of Edo State is a man of capacity, ability.
Okay.
Governor Obaseki. I respect him so much because the man is working. Some politicians are not like this, but it is very factual. He has done a lot. We know a lot of things that still need to be done, but he has done. He has shown capacity and ability. And what we are fighting, what the protesting was all about, was not all about him. Because, for example, now he doesn't have control over the, PMS. Because if PMS comes, okay, for example, before this present federal government came in, it was just 200, and some of us were buying 205 naira. And now he became, I think I bought 850. Per liter.
Yeah.
Now, that alone have just, increased everything. If PMS come down, crash now. Every other thing will crash. Because once PMS is very high, it affects every other thing. Now, the governor of Edo State does not have power over that issue. Even when we also talk about, security. As a governor, yes, he's the chief security officer of the state, but he's still limited. Because in full capacity, the police is not under him. If, for example, he give an order to the commissioner of police, the IGP can counter that instruction. We all see it. No, in as much as there are things we want the governor to do, and by the grace of God, Governor Obaseki, I'm not a PDP man, I'm not a PC person, but I'm the leader of the people, and he has shown capacity. And that's why if you look at the protests in Edo State, because of his leadership style and because of what he has put in place, he even came out and pleaded with them. They said, please don't destroy anything. And because of the leadership in the part of the civil society group too, because those people are very intelligent, and that's why they were able to coordinate it. And if you look at it, when they discovered that it was almost going out of hand, they came out to say, now they are pulling out. And they said it very clear. I watch it, and they said the way things are going is look as if they cannot control it. Therefore, they have to pull out because of their intelligence and their tenacity. They know they don't want anything to go wrong. Yeah. Now, the peaceful aspect, the part of the protest in those states can be traceable to the leadership quality of the governor and the people that was in the helm of affair. Now, if you watch, even when the protest started the very day, a leader of another political party came and wanted to change the narrative. But because the civil society, the leaders, those who were leading the protest here in Edo State, they don't want to bring politics into this, because now hunger does not know APC or PDP. Just like now, all of us, including those who do not care, including those who are not ready to do the needful, whether you are APC, you are PDP, you are Labour Party member, it's the same price all of us were buying fuel in the filling station. They will not sell for me and say, Apostle Dr. Elvis Agmanima, your own is 250. Then the other person, APC, go to APC, your own is 150. No, I believe where the day I bought at the rate of 850, which I'll be buying. Now, if you are a PDP person, you are a Labour Party man, you go to that filling station, they will say the same thing, the same priority. You get it? Yeah, now, back to the point, that was one of the reasons that the protest in Edo State was peaceful, because the people could see. That's why even when some people are coming out to begin to say a lot of things. This is not true. This is not, politicians. Yes. I've been watching some of your sister stations. I see a lot of people just come out, just like now. Somebody want to rule Edo State. He's interested in the office of the governor. He's not ready to talk to the people, and people are talking for him. And you think, we the Edolat we are watching. Because if you want to rule us now, we want somebody with capacity, somebody with pedigree, somebody, because the system has collapsed. The system, a lot of things are going on. Therefore, we need a dogged leader, someone who can stand. And now, this is the electionary period now. Somebody want to rule Edo State. He's not speaking. Instead of you to speak and tell us what you want to do, what you are going to do, what your agenda, you are trying to malign the character of others. You are even, some people are even trying to bring nepotism, which it will not work this time, because we need a leader that will be responsive.
Thank you very much. Bishop Lucky, now we've seen protests. Professor Job has just told us it is the rights of citizens, but don't destroy things. Don't go against the law. We've heard that. But now, we know, like you have mentioned, hunger, insecurity, a lot of issues actually made people to take to the streets. Now, if you were asked to advise government, what should be done so that these people will not come back to protest again, to actually revive the economy?
Thank you, sir. Number one, the government should look inward.
Okay.
Now, the reason why there's hunger in the land is because the present government now of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, headed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, removed subsidy without consultation, without looking at the effect we have on the people. He just look at it, maybe some element using it to eat some money in Nigeria, maybe have some issue within himself, only God understand. He just pull it off. When he pull it off, There no plan on ground. Nothing was on ground to save the people, to help the people out of trouble. Then the thing came back with a full force from 200 liter per
200 naira.
For 200 naira per fare, it moved straight to 700, straight to 850. Then everything increased, transportation increased, everything was selling increased. People begin to feel the effect of those things in their body. Now he's trying to give palliative. It will not work. We don't need palliative. Sir, help us with the money we are getting from the subsidy, fix refinery. They give Dangote refinery freedom to refine fuel in the level of naira, not in dollars, because this economy will be dollarized. That's why even if you make your farm now, as you are planting your maize, the maize will be dollarized. Because by the time you are coming from farm with a transport of 10,000 to bring your corn to the market, then because of what the transport, the suffering and all calculated together, when you pay the people that are calling yourself, in the market, add it to the price of the maize, they will also now buy the maize in dollar. Now, our proposal is about one, but two, the president will give the governor power, 100% autonomy. Take care of your state. Use your power to deal with every issue in your state. Our governor can give command. All the harassment, these houses of Ovia, delete all of them. People go to farm. I have my family member, 250 are farmers. They're not going to farm. Last year, I used because I also sell land, I have estate and sell land. Yeah. When I go for this, I bought back the to share for my members. This year, I have to use one of my land close to my house at Iowa to make very big farm. So, okay, let's do this farm so that when the farm succeeded, after we harvest our product, then we have to turn it to Gary and there's actually for members. Because those are not going to perform again. That is what they have to do. When these two things are addressed, all this trouble will go down. And if you go to farm now and you see somebody carrying gun, you run away. Then, if also then number three, the president himself, I said for issue a plot professional in each ministry, not political party members. Yeah. If I study agriculture, I know what I'm doing. Make me Minister of Agriculture in Ministry of Agriculture. This is a professor of law. Make the man in charge of every legal activity in Nigeria. Not that you bring a man of agriculture to legal law. You begin to talk rubbish. What concerning agriculture, plant maize, cash crop, than law. With law, not different. You can't even have economy to head, Ministry of Head. What concerning what have economy? Buying and selling, exchange and order. There are people that are talking about human body. You can't even that study music and bring the man to come ahead ITV station. What can the man concern media project? It will bring so many things that we can't even understand. That's why these three things, if we can address it without sentiment, that will people a class, because Nigeria they have turned us from reasoning like normal human being to reasoning political way. We don't reason like one way, but we're not reasoning like that. They make us feel that if you belong to this party, you will be normal human being. That's why I say in Nigeria, people are now running so okay, since I am in labor, so let me just join them. Then that's what is going to happen in those states. As my brother said, the apostle. We are a candidate of certain party. He's not talking to anybody.
No, we don't want to go into the candidates of political parties. Thank you, Bishop. You have made very important points. And I believe the authorities, I believe the authorities will heed to what my guests have said. They've made very important points. ITV is an international station. And I believe that those who are responsible for leading this country must heed the advice of my guest, because this has been a very big problem. You employ or you appoint somebody that read architecture. For goodness sake, you appoint him as Attorney General or Minister of Health or Minister of Budgets. economy, I mean, it's really disturbing. It has happened. We've seen those who have never gone to the stadium to watch a football match or watch athletics championship. You make them minister of sports. What do you expect from him or her? He will bring in politicking and all of that. Nigeria is not doing well in Olympics because who is the minister of sports? I'm not trying to belittle the minister of sports, but based on what Bishop Lucky said, we need to appoint the right persons to man ministries that they have knowledge about, that they are educated, they have knowledge. It's very important. Try a broadcaster and do broadcasting, you know. So, Prof, we'll come to you now because we need to find solution. Okay. Some persons are saying, yes, the protesters have retreated, but they will come back. How do we avoid protesters coming back? Government must do what they want. So how should government address their issue?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, like I said, my colleagues here have also mentioned some vital issues, but we need to also maybe give a different, try and broaden the scope of what they have said. I think I've been coming here for over 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, and the restricts have been the same thing. If you recall, we've always challenged government as to certain measures to be taken, you know, of course, and we have always said that there should be a three-pronged approach. You have a short-term, medium-term, or call it long-term measures, you know. And government must always operate on that level. You have a short-term, a medium-term, and a long-term. And so the palliative is like a quick fix. Short-term, they're trying to soothe nerves. And a lot of programs have been put on place to cushion nerves, you know, cushion nerves of Nigerians that are very, very afraid now, you know, that led to this protest. Then, again, if you're objective, you also see that there are a lot of long-term measures put in place that will require some time. But because it requires some time, you must have a medium-term and short-term measures to deal with the exigencies of time, you know. And for example, if you're looking at the issue of the oil sector, that has been a big problem. We talked about the refineries and the rest, but you know that this removal of subsidy is part of the attempt to solve that issue, you know, and arguments can come here and there, but everybody agrees the right way to go. It's not as if somebody will come and say it should go. It's the right way to go because even the economists have told you we're just spending borrowing money to fund subsidy that goes to people's pockets. So you have to go. But then, was it well thought out? It's another different thing. But you know, the regime that removed subsidy was the Buhari regime that ended in June. So maybe there was a problem of transition. You know, when governments are coming, you have a transition committee. Like this state now, they have a committee already set up to transit. That is the work of the transition committee. The Buhari regime and the Tinubu regime will have met to say no more subsidy in June. No. You are coming in on May 29, about 2 days to the about 2 days to June. Yes, so what are we going to put in place in next 3 months, 6 months? Nigerians will not feel the effect. It will not be a drastic move from, you know, from not like a fine part to the fire itself. You know, let's cushion the effect. What are we going to do? So we work out measures. You know, measures that was not done. I assume was not done properly. So maybe that was why when the man announced it on the podium, you know, it became
before he left the venue,
everything went upside down. And then it's more than a year since then.
Yes.
So, but because there was that snag, that is why the effect became ripple effect. But over time, government has tried to do a lot of long-term and short-term measures. But I think this is where we are missing it. One, first, devolution of powers. It talks about the governors.
Yes.
Our local government council. We must consider, we must tell ourselves the truth. Forget about politics, you know, praise, singing, and the governors are not doing well. Governors, generally, very few of them are doing well. Why? Because the government have failed, neglected to bring the impact of governance to their people. Now, this subsidy thing meant that governors had a lot of money. States, let me know your government, so you are personalizing. The states have so much money because of every month, look at the revenue allocation to states. They have never give money. Because the money taken from you and I, given to the state on trust, the 850 is paying and paying. It's going back to the government. And part of government is our state government. What is even more, up till that judgment of Supreme Court, the states were also taking the local government revenue. That's why they could not do market, they could not do roads, they could not grade roads, not do anything. So monies for the states collected that too. So it became a competition between state and federal. If states are getting 35%, all the ones will say, let us find a way to get 52. So they appropriated local government council, and they could not fill it in states. And everybody looks up to the man in Abuja because we now believe it's a unitary system. Yes, we will have a federal structure. Yes, it may not be perfect. There's no way it is perfect. Even the US have fiscal federalism. Not yet. We don't have it yet. We'll have a semblance of it. The man in Abuja cannot come and tell the government I spend his money. Nobody has created it. That's why it is federalism. So when we start facing Abuja and there, so the local government councils have been restored now through the judgment. Let us hope that when they are restored, their money will go to them directly. They will do their bit. When they fail, the protesters should go to the local government council to hold their neck. So those of us in the rural area, I will go and meet them for what I need. Then also, those for state, they don't have concerns federal. The economy, we can hold your neck for that. Security, we hold your neck. We've said so here several about how we can rejig our security architecture. We talked about herdsmen and the rest. When we talked about herdsmen from 5, 6 years ago, we knew we were going to come to the issue of food security now. What are we having is food insecurity. Because like I said, the farmers have left their farms. We're not farming anymore because of insecurity. So when people are leaving their farms because of security, what do you expect? Food stuff is very expensive. Because if you don't have enough food stuff, because people are not farming, there will be hunger. So the issue of dollarization is part of it, but the security is very, very paramount. Because the man who is on the street now, he's not asking you to come and give money to go and buy a car. Don't tell you, don't tell you to come and bring money to come and buy them. Just say, give me money to feed. So that one is one. Then before you now add the issue of the PMS thing, like you said, because the short-term measures were not there, so we have a long-term. And part of the medium term was the Dangote refinery. But you hear now that they are attempting to probe the NNPC and yes, because they attempt to sabotage that effort. Because that effort of Dangote refinery and others that would have come in, other investors that would have come in, would have been going on side by side, where they try to rejig the refineries in Port Harcourt and Kaduna and yes, and Warri. So that effort, people are sabotaging it. Fellow Nigerians like you and I, working in high places, who want to continue importing fuel because that is their mainstay. That is where governance comes into. What are you doing to check them?
Thank you very much, Professor Joe. Dr. Elvis, now, what's the way forward? As you conclude.
Yes. The way forward is that Nigeria need quick fix.
Okay.
The President Tinubu, need to stop politicking. Because for this first 1 year and 2 months, it has been politicking. We are not saying that it can just do things, Nigeria will just become an Eldorado overnight. It can pick 1 or 2 and start from there. Let the politicking stop.
Which areas do you think we need quick fix?
One, insecurity. Because once the insecurity, the forest is clear, the bushes are clear, and people cannot freely go to start farming, food will come out. Then these two things first need to be addressed. The level of insecurity, and number 2, this PMS issue.
First subsidy issue.
It has not been addressed. If these 2 issues is quickly fixed, Nigeria will be happy. Because Nigeria needs quick fix now.
Yeah.
Because the time of politicking is over.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bishop Lucky, your closing remarks. Quick one.
Well, the only thing I will say is that let all the tiers of government,
okay,
the federal government, the president himself, all state governors, local government to come together and work in unity and remove party differences. We'll get it right.
Thank you very much. Closing remark, Professor Joe.
Well, just adore what they have said and to insist too. For me,
yes,
government should work towards how to ameliorate hardship. One way is to try and regulate prices. It has been my mantra. Government can regulate prices. Here in the state, government can insist that the unions be demystified. The unions are part of the problems we have when it comes to extortionate prices, not even inflation. What we have is extortionate pricing, especially in those states, not inflation. Inflation is part of it, but worse it is extortionate pricing by unions. They are racketeering. That has to stop.
Thank you very much. I am grateful to my guest, Professor Joe Bodion. Thanks for joining
Thank you
us.
for that.
Dr. Elvis Agbonaima, thank you very much for joining us. And we must commend Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. Thank you very much. You made very important points that I believe can, with what the others have said, can actually fix Nigeria. Dr. Evik said we need quick fix, and I agree. During the protest, Governor Obaseki assured that the problem of unions in our markets will be tackled. Don't forget, we've always had Comrade Orukpe, who has joined us in our previous editions of 60 Minutes Nigeria, and he has been clamoring that unions, Waterleaf Union,
yes.
this union,
that
union, that is affecting price or prices of food items. We thought he was joking, but look at what is happening. You can actually buy something from this trader, same bottle of groundnut, let's say 1.3. You go to the next woman selling groundnut in another area, she will tell you 1.6.
Yes.
It's the same groundnut.
It's a choice.
So we must have price control. I'm just using that, which is a regular, a staple food item.
Yeah.
You know. So the issue of per liter, price of per liter of PMS, of petrol, must be addressed. Government has promised to bring CNG buses. We need them. Quick fix. Let the buses be made available. Yeah. Thanks for being a part of the program. My name is Egosa Agbolao. Do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.